Well, hello, folks. Top Gun here with you, and I got a good one for you tonight. You know why? Yeah, like the title says, 100th episode. And that's, I think, the pre records. I haven't even double checked to see if that's all videos or just the uploads. The live streams might be on top of that. I might have actually done more, but this will be my 100th upload, if not my 100th video. Either way, 100, it feels special. I showed up in a bear market and I've been making videos ever since. I haven't gone anywhere. I've been sitting here accumulating and I've been having fun. Trying to bring some hopium to some people to let you know the wonders I see. So, meanwhile, in other news, let's see if I can make this larger. It's not that fun unless we can see it larger. Try that. There we go. Come on. Oh, man, this is so slow. Horrible start to my 100th episode. There. Oh. There we go. Now you guys can see it. So, yeah, that happened. Yeah, the deal closed. Musk now owns Twitter. And it's also no longer public. Poof. Stock's gone. I'm kind of interested how that works. I guess a replacement ticker is kind of going. The shareholders still technically valid, like you still own part of Twitter. Very interesting. It might be a few years before it becomes publicly traded again, so it could have a lot of changes. I wonder what that's going to have to do. Like financial Twitter and crypto Twitter have come quite some interesting places, especially with people not wanting to hang out on Facebook. We know social media evolving, so this is some interesting. Wow, some interesting developments, right? Yeah. And don't worry here. I just want to start with something fun. Yeah, like the title says, it's my 100th episode. My big thing, like as much as like I'm HEX by HEX, it's really I'm a PulseX maximalist. That's where I am, but it doesn't even exist yet. Really, like it's on testnet, so it's not the same thing. I can't be amped. Like look at my bags grow. So it is what it is. I have to wait. In the meantime, Hex is great, and it will be paired in liquidity with PulseX. So, maybe some value transposition will occur there. Depends on how greatly they're linked, depending on what the OA decides he wants to provide for that kind of thing. We'll have to see, because I don't know who the OA is. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know if he will link it greatly. Maybe the community will do it. Maybe I'll try to. I don't know. Maybe no one will. It's those expectations. No suing me. Okay? Read between the lines. That's what I have to do. I have to do this little dance. But it's all good. It's all good. I love this community. I love it. I keep having so much fun in it. So I'm going to be doing videos this weekend. Might have to do 2 Sundays because I'm going to have a busy day tomorrow. Yeah. There are some other things coming up which I want to have a look at and go over. And for now, I'm going to do a little bit of a run through on some news, go through some charts, and then we're going to come through and look at some PulseX math, because that's what you guys love, right? So, yeah, we'll do a good recap of PulseX math. So, back to the news at hand. What is this? Oh, go away. That's not the news at hand. That'll be a separate video. For right now, the news at hand is Ethereum. So I've talked consistently about, on normal view, not logarithmic view, the long-standing resistance that's existed over the charts. When log stops to matter and regular starts to matter as the markets sell out. So this is literally riding against the line of resistance. Now the hourly, not as exciting, but the 4-hour RSI is pretty low as it's sitting. What about the day? A little less encouraging. So it depends on where you look at the time frame. But hey, maybe this is a bull flag that takes all weekend to play out. Maybe this breaks tonight while I'm asleep. Maybe it goes down. Nobody knows the future. Que sera, the future's not ours to see. But okay, what are the fundamentals? We'll go up or we'll go down. Is the market happy? Or is the market sad and afraid? I look at all these indicators. So now, yay, I found out a bunch of things are on here. I do not hold any of this. I watch it to laugh at it and mock it. Oh, look, it fell out of the vaguest hope it had at a bull trend. Oh, oh, poor XRP. Just constantly getting beaten and kicked around. It got a little bit of happy and then it just beaten. So I have it here to look at and kind of laugh at. Be glad I didn't get into it. This, unfortunately, I still own a couple tokens from when it died, the classics. So I laugh at it. All right, and if the price ever goes up too high, I will just dump them. That you can set an expectation on. I will use people for exit liquidity in that contract for sure. I do own some of this because of another asset that I own that's not on this list, and I need it for gas to work on a layer 1 network, and I watched it shatter. Yeah, let's get to the day. This will make it a lot more clear. I watched it shatter its downtrend. The big yellow shattered and shook it off sideways like this. Everyone's ignoring BNB, talking about ETH and Bitcoin, but Binance is doing that kind of sideways, like, yeah, we had our bear market. Watch this next trick. And that's kind of interesting if that's really the case. Like, it's in the lead, like it's just broken all of the trends that have been resisting, holding it down, going, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, but I don't care. Yeah, but I don't care. Yeah, but I don't care. Set another one there. Yeah, but it doesn't care. It's setting a new one. Like, and at a certain point, that just it becomes less and less useful. Like, you've got to look like, oh, we'll have to start tracking bull trends again. The trend is your friend until the end, right? But where's the end of the trend? And even if that's a full channel that looks pretty equal right there, it's been broken if this was over amplified for any reason. So that's interesting. Looking at Bitcoin by the same perspective. Oh, look, it's peaking out above the long resistance. Looking at Ethereum, that's what I'm talking about when we're zoomed in. It's finally up against the channel testing. It's the last one to say, yeah, they're invalid. Or is it just the last one responding and the other ones have already told us, yes, it's invalid? So the breath is being held right here at the last mark on Ethereum. And that's exciting because when Ethereum pumps, HEX pumps, but it pumps more because people start buying it eager on top of the price of Ethereum. Oh, look at how much that's already wicked. Like, not that much longer to already erase all the pain. I'm starting to get more excited. I did my video and I'm like, boom, we're going to go sideways. And boom, we've gone sideways. And our double bottom even had technically a double bottom. So, I mean, that's starting to get more and more bullish as far as I'm concerned. And I'm glad I started DCing when I did at 3 cents. Wait, 3 cents? Does that mean that I'm holding nearly a 50% up on my recent DCAs? Why, yes, it does. Oh. And is that how one alleviates damage in a bear market from accidentally buying closer to the top? If the asset is actually got a chance of surviving and coming back, yes, it is. And HEX is a very good asset with a very good chance of that survival, as that's currently what it's doing as PulseChain's getting a little closer and closer. Oh, PulseChain. Finally. Been waiting so much. So, yeah, on this list, I track Bitcoin, the grandfather everything, the Betamax, the 8-track, the vinyl. It's a classic. It has some value, even though I beat on it. Like, they don't have a roadmap. But, hey, Bitcoin existed on people just running it on their GPUs in their living room. It could go back to that. It would be a completely different incentive structure. I mean, the network can be restructured. Just because it's not feasible or may not be worth mining in the current setup and structure doesn't mean it can't be restructured. Doesn't mean death to Bitcoin, but it's not great for the current outlook of Bitcoin. It's a lot of bad PR, a lot of bad news. The old grandpa in the room kind of might turn into gold as far as the assets go. Ethereum, though. Ethereum is long and strong. and going centralized. It's gross. It's really gross. We got to get off Ethereum. But I need Ethereum as the lifeblood. I look at these layer one networks like countries, like nations. They all have their own dollar, whether it's the US dollar or the Canadian dollar or the euro. You're going somewhere and you're using the native currency to participate buying native assets to that chain. Like a country, it's just not sovereign and it doesn't have a military and it doesn't have a, it has programming code. But if I at least thinking of these in these terms, I can look at the different programs that launch as elements of an ecosystem, an economic ecosystem inside this nation, how things are traded. That's why I look at the DEX like a stock exchange. I look at NFT marketplaces like auction houses. Same with something like 1inch, like order booking. And I see different protocols, loans, like Visa, like a loan protocol is just something like Visa going out and taking the loan. Even better, maybe more like a mortgage, taking out a loan on an asset. Their wallets are basically banks. Like we're our own bank, and the wallet is our access. So that's our vault. That's everything. That's the security. Wow, there's actually a lot of industry inside of a blockchain network. So these are all businesses owning tokens in them. It's kind of like owning shares. Okay, cool. So I need the native currency to participate. My HEX is on Ethereum, so I own Ethereum, and I watch it like a hawk because I think the trend is your friend till the end. But where is the end of that trend? Everyone thinks they know an unknowable future, which is I'm wondering if it's about to go up, because that's what I said about Bitcoin last week. And I don't know, but I guess rubbing in the fact that I was right is the only way to get people to pay attention to the fact that, yeah, I was right, those chicken bones have been telling me the truth. They could lie to me at any time. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is a hobby. I just apparently put a lot of hours into this hobby. 10,000 hours is enough to make you an expert at anything. I wonder how many hours I've put into this. Anyways, Hedron. If you stake your HEX, when you buy your HEX, it pays you. You get interest. You get yield. It's not actually interest. There is no interest. You get inflation. HEX just inflates. Coins are minted for no reason at all. No loaning or anything else involved. They're just minted. So who do they go to? The people that promise not to sell. Oh. And people promise not to sell? Well, how long do you not have to sell? We can do it for one day. We can do it for 5,555. That's the links. Okay. So I can stake for one day for 5,555. All right. End staking can be pretty expensive, but on a shorter stake, it's cheaper. But before you end stake, because you staked, you automatically can claim free Hedron. Yeah, free money on top of the free money, just because you staked and promised not to sell the free money, and you remember to claim the other free monies. So free money is on top of free monies. So go in there and get a stake, right? Another option, though, was Maximus. This is a 15-year stake as a wrapped bond, because you had to donate, sacrifice your HEX, no promise of work, but then, hey, here's a token that represents you're part of the HEX stake. So in 15 years, when it opens, you'll get your share of that stake and not have to worry. You can split that gas, technically, like it's an open-ended function. Anybody can pay it to end it. So this contract is worth all the future HEX, so it trades at a premium above HEX if you happen to get in on that. And it will also include Hedron in the end staking function. That's pretty cool. And then there is Decky, which basically is like Maximus, but 10-year, and some of the Hedron is going to the team and the poly and all that stuff. Okay. And then Pulse T, it's a horrible meme. I hate it. Don't buy it. Look, the chart's going down. The chart is dying. Run from it. It's a meme coin. It has no utility except people are sacrificing their poor hush puppies. They're sending them to the farm, and I know what that means. I mean, my mom, she tried to tell me things are going to the farm, but I know what that means. And you send them to the farm, and then these ASIC tokens, they kill them. So wrong. Animal cruelty. And then the hush puppies are gone forever. 40% of them. It's almost like a genocide. The hush puppies, these doggy coins, just gone. And all in the name of Pulse Bitcoin mining. What the heck is that? Another meme coin? No, it's like another repeat of Bitcoin, except proof of meme mining, basically, instead of proof of work mining. You get an ASIC token instead of actually burning the environment with a I don't know. It's weird. It's funky. It's weird. But it was a free claim because it gave it out to HEX stakeholders. Again, about this whole staking HEX thing. So getting it as a free stakeholder, oh, I have enjoyed hating it because while the rest of my portfolio was on fire, I claimed it at like $1 a coin, and then it's only been more than $1 a coin. No, I'm not happy about this. But no, I will not slaughter a single policy. And then I am not encouraging this for anyone. I respect the person I heard talking, and they mentioned there was a chance that somebody building might be giving rewarding to people that have claimed their policy and not sold it, like me. Like, what, really? Serious? Yeah. And there might be a bonus in them for if they've even accumulated one more coin. I looked at the price. It's 7, roughly around this price. I went, really? One coin? You bastards. Still, it's worth more than any of the money that I have sunk into this thing. But it's a joke, it's a lark, and it's something that's kept me amused in the bear market. And when HEX starts pumping, it might flatline for all we know. So, yeah, don't buy a top and sell a bottom, because if this collapses, goodbye, we're coming to this one. And this one is tenuous for a higher bottom, but if that one needs to collapse for a correction, that would mean that this would be the best buy location somewhere along this line. If you were even interested, which again, but if you got a free claim and you've been holding that free claim and you refuse to kill your hush puppies, if you save just one more hush puppy off the open market, apparently there might be something more in it for you. They keep building. Apparently there might be a Pulse Litecoin. Oh God, I hate this stuff. I really hate this stuff. I don't even want to talk about it. Waitcoin. They had a horrible crash lately. Let's talk about that. Everyone was like, wait, what happened? Look, it's a free claim. It's a free claim that is worth more than the gas it costs to get this free claim. So someone's providing liquidity, just like the other free claim that I just talked about, that you can sell into and take their money. It's your choice while the market establishes itself. And with that choice, it seemed to have established a price floor up here. And then like people just keep dumping into this coin, but no one seemed to want to dump it lower than that. Like, okay, maybe that's the price floor. And it's funny because that's more than the gas it costs to get it. And then finally it had, yeah, well, that made sense. It's like continuously inflating right now. And there's no, like, there might build on it in the future. There might be more coming to it, but it's just, you can claim it. And if you sell it, you even get more of it still when Pulse launches, as long as you claim it before Pulse launches. Okay, so it's claim it and dumb coin, and then maybe the final stuff hang on to see what they do. Like, that's kind of almost literally what they're incentivizing with this project. And people were surprised when it dipped off. I guess because I talked about it seeming to get a price floor, and yeah, like it was. I was starting to think no one wanted to dump it lower, but that's literally the point of the coin. It's not impossible, but what happened particularly here to shake confidence was a liquidity provider decided to bail. Somebody who was interested in it and was taking a sizable market share left liquidity, and it was so low, then a couple of the regular sells that normally make a small wick really dumped the price because there wasn't the liquidity to take these sells. And then the price had to restabilize after. And it's still like, but come on, guys, we're sorry. Let us back to the half set range. So, I mean, it's the battle for weight. It's a free claim. You might just watch this video, claim it, and dump it and laugh because you made the candle go down and made me cry a little bit. Maybe some of my followers cry a little bit because they accidentally read into the fact that I covered this free claim. Like, I went and got my free claim because it's worth more than the gas, and then it was worth less for a moment, but it did recover. There's some baseline interest in this, which is weird. I would have think it would have kept going down, but no. So who knows? Maybe it'll get more dumping as it gets closer to Pulse. Like, if we get a test net before Pulse, well, people will probably claim and dump. See what happens there. It's interesting, but thank you for free money. It was worth more, so I sold a little bit, and I kept a little bit of it. That's what I did. say, yes, I took some profits. I realized some of that liquidity and felt vindicated and kept some of it just in case something more came of it. And then I might have used it to buy a single policy, buy some more HEX. Thank you for the wait. And then I still hold some. So this is where, wow, my HEX related bags, Ethereum because I need the network fees, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 technically because the weight token does surround PulseChain, which is where HEX is an RH project, and I love PulseChain. I love all the mechanics to that even more than I love HEX. HEX is awesome. PulseX is amazing. And I've been watching the markets. So the AGG, basically, right where it's at right now, this is, you can see right here, kind of a critical support where it's rallying but staying green. It's the more healthy rally than even back here. So the end of the world might be being averted currently before our eyes as bonds are starting to recover. And if bonds start to recover, the market will start to normalize a little bit. Now, this doesn't mean inflation will necessarily normalize, but if the Treasury is propping up the bond market and rescuing the world while the Fed keeps the rates kind of high to fight inflation, like maybe they come out with a 50, maybe. I think they'll still come with a 75. I think they'll still come wrecking ball. I think that's mostly priced into the market, but them not coming worse than 75. Them talking dovishly after the 75 about less or pausing. You know, there's a whole bunch of different mechanics to fight inflation, keep credibility, and let someone else take the share of saving the economic structure. So we see bonds recover, awesome. And to see bonds going up is just great. Just great. Just great. Honestly. Love it. So I've been doing my market tracking, and yeah, look at that. The SPX, the SPY, the NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones all closed green, as well as the dollar. That's weird. The volatility index went down. What a market crash. Netflix is almost up to $300 a share. Apple is back up to $155. Gee, did I tell anyone to close this? I'm pretty sure I did. That would be a good reason. Funny how that works. Gee. There's no rally to see here. The stock market's not recovering hard. Wow. Small caps are up. Wow. I will say, don't get this the wrong way. Let's have a look here at some I don't normally track. Amazon. This is awesome. Amazon. Wait, is this the right Amazon.com? Maybe they didn't. Oh, they've been going down. I thought. Oh, there's the drop. They came back up today. Yeah. There was a drop because of earnings, but even better than Amazon. Let's have a look at Meta. Oh, that was brutal. Oh, Meta's been losing so much, but just in a single day, that gap down, like these huge skyrockets down from what seemed level. What we've been expecting in crypto, turn around and smacked Meta and Amazon in the face. Like right in the face. This is looking for months, and it just suddenly drops from $130 a share to less than 100. Just in crypto, we're like, what, 25%? That's nothing. In the stock market, this matters. So the crash is happening, but not where you thought. Like, wouldn't it be funny if nothing played out like everyone thought? I mean, I was pretty excited for 11K in Prey. When I realized this is getting closer, yeah, the entire market, everyone is saying that. You know what? There's so much pessimism. Like, when everybody thinks they know an unknowable future is when the greatest opportunities present themselves, because it's as simple as people tend to look at the current situation, like the hot hand fallacy was another way it's described. A basketball player gets one hoop, two hoop, three hoop, four hoop. Well, you think they're just going to keep making hoops into infinity. But that's not true. They're having a lucky streak. It will come to an end. Nobody ever is betting on the end of the streak. A few are, but most are continuing for the bet. And this is where the market's been going up and up and up. hot hand fallacy. Everyone's betting for it to go up, and the shortest the bears in the air. But now everyone's a bear. See, it's been going down so long. Hot hand fallacy, or should I? What's the opposite of a hot hand? Loose hand fallacy. That sounds dirty. Point is, yeah, everyone thinks, oh, because it's been doing this, it has to keep doing this. And I can't say the trend is your friend until the end. And noticing when that trend is changing, that's when the opportunity really lies. And I came in near the end of the top, and I've been watching this ride down, trying to figure out where it's going to change. And at first, I had too much optimism. And then I realized, no, we're locked in this trend. But then when everyone started sounding like me, well, that's when I figured I must be wrong now. Because the market tends to do the opposite of what the majority thinks. It's like the majority always has to be wrong in the market. Because that's where people will start moving the money and make the action happen all of a sudden to take advantage of the opportunity, because everyone is looking in one direction. While there's other chances other places. Like everyone's thinking, well, bonds are going to continue to crash. Well, they've been recovering. Anyone who bought bonds when it looked at the worst is laughing right now. Like, while I've been buying HEX, it looks great right now. Great. Absolutely great. But I've been buying HEX ever since here. Yeah, I've been buying HEX ever since this price point. Basically. And then I even had FOMO. I gotta move this. Near the sacrifice. That's right, New Year's Eve, like that weekend between, or that week between Christmas and New Year's Eve. Right about there. Yeah, right about there. I got a FOMO buy, and I felt good about it for about 4 cents. One buy there, because, that was the first. Or sorry, yeah, this was my first buy in this dip. Then I rode that up. Then I got this one, and then I rode that up. So I got a third buy. That was my third buy, and it was a FOMO. I learned my lesson off that one, and every other buy has been in a dip. So at least I'm maximizing my DCA. I'm very happy about that, and I share quite regularly, like, time to get, like, and this, I have a funny feeling we're going to close this W up, and we're not going to see this price range again. And I have a feeling we're going to spike somewhere between my entry price and my FOMO price for a W towards PulseChain launch. And then the end of the world isn't quite over. There's still possibly room for more pain. I'll have to reassess, because there could be another side to that W peak. But I don't think that other side will get any lower than our 10-cent range on the other side. 6. Let's say this, the 7, whatever this, this line, the 7. Once we cross over that, I don't think we'll come back down to it, even on the other side of the W, if that's what happens. If the market just doesn't take off and the whole world's not completely saved. So, yeah, watching Bitcoin break through, everything break through, and it's just that beginning, and it still can trade sideways a bit. But there's optimism to this. I expect it to trade up a little bit. I expect that to carry through the market. It's been a hard, long bear market. So I think there's going to be a sizable rally. And even, I don't think the Fed's going to be that bad next week. And I think the rally is going to be something. We'll see. Anyways, this is why I'm excited and bullish on HEX. And I'm excited for PulseChain to come. I keep checking here. I keep hitting the ready first button. Like, no, still version 2B. Okay. But version 3 is going to pop up. This will say 942. And we'll get version 3 soon. And how do you know soon? Well, let's go to sacrifice balance checker. Really? There we go. So this wallet didn't do any sacrifices, but what is this here? Select version 2022 this year, October 23rd. This week, they released a new sacrifice update, new totals. That indicates getting some closer. That's something that's a little excitement. All right, and there's been a little buzz here and there, so I'm keeping my eye waiting for a third testnet. This is getting exciting again. The season seems to be turning, and I'm glad about that. And so, again, I'll recap a little bit of my math, which is online. So, let's go to Google Sheets. Let's get there. Sheets. All right. So I have liquidity providing that's kind of beat to death. You guys don't really care. Buy and burn with the S curve. That's really what you guys care about, isn't it? It really is. It really is. I know it. I know it. It's alright. You guys are all degenerates and only care about price go up, but I have lots of other useful information, I think. Maybe I'm just beating a dead horse. But here we go. There we go. But now we can't see the numbers, but you can see the whole sheet. All these funny graphs. Like, I've done a lot of building for this to interact with the numbers. So on a zoomed out layer, this box up here, this area, is my input data for different projects. So one line out of this box is for PulseX, the green line. That's the line that make the numbers that make the math run. An assumed liquidity pool size, the effective token supply of 7.2 trillion, and an estimated fee income per day based on Uniswap. Because that's Uniswap's income per day. But that's not fair. So I go through the what if game and I put a lot of adjustments. This is a one liquidity pool, then a change in the liquidity pool. Then that same liquidity pool copied down here, and the second change to it, and then it's new, and then copied down here, and the same and same and same. And the reason it's copied down here is the space above allows me manual input from the market. So I can make up market numbers to simulate what would happen against the buy and burn depending on what the market does. This is fun for me to do emulations into the next 15 years. And this box over here that says ignore math testing and theory, just ignore it. It's my math testing and theory on liquidity pool interactions. Different, like Uniswap, an asset on V3 and V2 being traded, and arbitrage going on in between. Yeah, that was for a whole other project, but I never really found a use for it. I think it's cool, but I never found a huge use for it to show off something and be like, see, yelling from the rooftop. So wow, yeah, this thing, I can't believe all the different weirdness I've done with it. And you can see the graphs better from this mode, so I'm going to adjust some of the numbers while you can see this better. Like, adoption at just 10% year over year. Doesn't really seem that special to the graphs here for the price. But adoption at 25% year over year. Ooh, now we can see a change to the graphs. About at 50% year over year. Oh, wow. That's quite a change. I don't think we can really go too much above that as this average, because that's an average over the 20 years, but it goes over a parabola as I built in an S curve. So the rates of adoption that happen, and the reason is when we approach 50% of adoption year over year, 20 years into the future, that's 5 billion people. There are 8 billion currently on the planet, so that would be one out of every 2 people is using PulseX to swap tokens in 20 years. It's not impossible, but that is the requirement for this. And then there's different rates of adoption over the years for this, and the different effects that would happen in that universe if it were the case. So I get some graphs I can look at. on the funny numbers. And the graphs are kind of fun. I don't show those out often enough. So again, if I change that back to just 10% growth or year over year, you see those charts rounding back out a little bit. But this, you can see it, a big pump in the first year. Then towards the middle 5 years in, we've got a huge pump, and then it starts to level out. Then towards 15 years, another pump, and then leveling out again. So here it's okay, but I need to switch this to log, because if I get more than 10%, well, you can't even see the first 5 years on that graph. 115%. The other two graphs don't change much, but this middle hump starts to disappear, be a lot less visible. I have to actually crank this down. So just 5% year over year. And now this graph, you can see this hump a little more clearly, but it just gets dwarfed by the compound effect when I crank this anything like 125. Come back down and you don't really see that hump. It's starting to bottom out, and this is why we need logs in crypto. And that's the same idea where this mass adoption comes in the next 10-year cycle, basically. So it is possible it adopts even faster. So if we just go to 10 years, forget anything after that, we could take this to 175. Okay, and so at 10 years, wow, that's only 500 million people. But at 14 years, it's 6 billion. Like, it gets ridiculous at anything after 10 years. And, the first 10 years of the chart are gone there to even look at. Price for this is, we can look at the first one. Like, wow, that's some insane price action if it gets that level of adoption. I got a 20% sell off the first month too, all swapping because they missed the PulseX sack. But this is bullish in terms that it could do as well as Uniswap. So basically within 1 year of launch, it'll have just as many active wallet swapping as Uniswap does. That's the idea with the model where it's sitting right now. But those are some insane price points. And you're like, well, I can't see those. All right, just for the fun of it, let's get zoomed in so you can see those. And yeah, a $100 sack amount with that kind of adoption rate and these kind of bullish numbers, that's 16 grand at the end of year one. That's if no one in the market bought or sold. At the end of year 5, that just does get lost. Take off, eh? There's no way it's going to be $1.1 billion for a $100 investment in 5 years, huh? Yeah. I don't even buy that for $1. I won't buy that for $1.1 billion. I don't have $1.1 billion. Am I going to have $1.1 billion? No. It's broken. That's not the world. It will not adopt that fast. Let's tune that down. No way it'll adopt that fast. So let's turn it down to just 50% year over year. Maybe it was a little more real. $141 million. No. No way. See, I believe $21,000 at the end of year one. Again, that's a lot of X's all by itself. Maybe we need to crank this down. That's what we need to do. Let's take it to 50%. There we go. Now a $100 investment is only 5,000 X. That makes more sense. And it's only $35 million now in 5 years. That's more realistic, at least when you start in the other direction, right? And that's where, like, you guys are like, I don't believe these numbers. Like, I set some things that I thought were realistic numbers, and I went, wait, what? And I started kneecapping all of them because of, like, you can't do this. You can't. Because, like, again, this whole theory about the price, the amount of economic pressure going in here is that if more people are buying this token than selling this token, the price will go up. And then this is just another buyer in the system. But there are enough people in this, like, there's enough 17 trillion tokens out there that when I practice, let's sell the price to zero, it's easy to do. Look, in year 4, we can do it again with another 20% sell off. So that would be $3.4 trillion. That's million. That's billion. That's trillion. Am I doing this right? $3.4 trillion. All right. Bam. Sold in year 4. And no, wait. Do I have this hooked up? Year 4. Where's year 4? Did that just happen in year 4? It did. It did happen in year 4. Okay. Okay. Before the buy, it drops the price to some number we can't see. It means I need more zeros. Wow, that's how low the price went. But over the course of the year, the buy and burn could come up with another $1.6 billion of buy pressure with these kind of numbers. And there's where the price shoots back up to over $1 over the course of 1 year. 20% of the tokens. No one else had to buy. 1/5 of everyone who owned it got out. And the price buys back up because that much buy pressure could potentially be going in if the volume in year 4 with this would also depend on 5 million, 5.6, almost 5.7 million users using PulseX, swapping and trading at the end of year 4. That's what those numbers look like. Starts off with 75,000 users in the first month. Gets up to 750,000 in the first year. That's the adoption of 50% per year, compounding up, and then slowing down over a 10-year period. Interesting math, right? I mean, I keep trying to adjust the world. Let's look at it if a bunch of cells happen. Weirdly enough, there's even an option for me to do something so twisted as to what would happen if I put 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 in this field. We didn't see anything. I guess I don't have it hooked up here, but it is technically hooked up. The whole time, this sheet could simulate buy and sell pressure. I just didn't want it. You guys are constantly pumping me from information. I'm like, I gotta save some stuff on this. I gotta show it off. Like, especially when Pulse got delayed, I was like, there's no point. No point in doing this because I've been saving these functions to show off because I thought it was gonna launch, and I had to be able to track the buying and selling that goes on in the real, and then input it into my model. So yeah, I've been able to make numbers up and simulate it for a long time. I don't though, because then I think that really leads to some expectations, because then how the heck am I going to know what the market's actually doing? I mean, I'm learning macro enough to kind of get the next few months, kind of get the vibe of what the season, the quarters could look like a little bit. But we're talking about stuff that goes years, and even then, like, just a little glimpse. I'm laughing about how much when I'm like, I know this person's wrong. I know that's wrong, but I still don't know what the right answer is. I just know something's about to happen. Like, there's so many gaps here that I can't be predicting price, really. But a predictable model, like a program that's an automated buyer, is something I can predict. That's not like the market that has a psychology. This thing doesn't have a psychology. It has one purpose: buy and burn. Big buyer Barry shall buy and burn his bags. Go Big Buyer Barry. Thank you, K for that. Like, I love that name. Big Buyer Barry. That's what I'm going to call the PulseX buy whale. I like it. Big Buyer Barry. And this is basically a sneak peek of Big Buyer Barry's skirt to see what Big Buyer Barry is planning to do. Because Big Buyer Barry doesn't have a choice about what he does. Because Big Buyer Barry is automated. And he pays people out of his own pocket to push his buttons to make him buy things. He pays you to make him buy up the price. So people are pretty much guaranteed going to be clicking that daily to get paid daily, maybe even hourly. Who knows how active it is, how much it turns out paying. Could be minutely. But yeah, that's something that I can build a math model around. But market will affect it because this also kind of looks at consistent through gross. It doesn't look at phases in the market. Like over the 4-year cycle, volume did slow down a bit on Uniswap. Then it picks up. Like there are high periods and low periods where the buy and burn will be even more effective. So in a bear market, when volume low down and people are selling, big buyer berry will be a little less strong and a lot more people will fill it up. But the moment big buyer berry starts getting powerful again, he'll burn all that liquidity that's been dumped into the pool while prices bottomed before people are smart enough to start scooping it up. Big buyer berry. Oh, big buyer berry. We'll love seeing what you do. I'm gonna love seeing what you do. And yeah, this smash sheet, I'm very proud of it. If you actually watched all my content, you probably have the keys to actually building it. But I have not released this. This is mine. This is what makes my show. If I put this out there, people are going to copy it. They're going to, for sure, and do it easily, and then launch their copies and talk about their copies. And everyone's going to go, oh, you copied so-and-so. Really? You just didn't see my show because no one was watching it 6 months ago. So no, it's not getting released. This is my thing. And it's just a toy. If I release this, I know some other people would use this and try and convince them that they know that the price is going to go a place. I don't know where the price is going to go. I just look at possible outcomes on different variables. No idea how these variables are going to play out. Just funny how every outcome I look at tends to have a consistent theme with this game theory. This game theory does not exist in every single asset. In the assets it does exist in, I can run this model. And there are 2 other assets I know of that are coming to do this, for sure. And so I have models for those 2 other assets as well. For those big buyer berries that need other names, because they're not big buyer berry. PulseX is big buyer berry. So they need to be like big buyer Brad and big buyer Bob. Yes, that sounds good. Big buyer Barry, Brad, and Bob. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed taking another look at some PulseX math and seeing this outrageous stuff. Like, literally, if it doubled, this is what it would look like if it doubled every year. It can't, because it's just ridiculous, the doubling effect. 10 years, almost a million people, or yeah, a billion, sorry, almost a billion people in 10 years. 5 years, 200 million. That's a lot. Then again, so is almost $2 billion for a $100 investment. That's not happening. But that's a world in in quantum physics. It is going to happen. All realities must exist. It's just which one are we trapped in? How will they unfurl from our point of perspective? All realities are possible until you observe them. So we're observing them exist, and that's why I love the what if game. Looking at all the possible universes before we actually find out which one we're in. And it's probably none of the ones I've played with. Probably be a whole other set of things, but when I can start plugging this in here, it'll be fun, guys. So I hope you enjoyed some loading and, again, some showing off of the math, because I never really show the charts off. I've done price predictions with this thing that aren't price predictions. It just shows the buy pressure, okay? This is just an automated simulation of an automated buyer. So I enjoy it. I have fun with it. I'm glad that you guys enjoy it. I hope that gives you some more hope going into the Christmas season that Pulse might be coming, and that by the time the next bull run comes, 2 years down the road, bags will be so pumped from this. Like I'm hoping for, I might be a little hopeful for a 2025. I don't know. Maybe the first new car of my life. I don't know. Maybe I'll rent a bigger place. When you grew up on spam and a cam, it's hard to have like extravagant dreams. I know for sure though that all have a server tower, a desktop, uh, a big screen TV in my living room, at least 2 extra monitors for. Oh yeah, I'll need a bigger place with an office. Yeah, no, I have a setup. I have a rig. There are some things that I want to do. Oh yes, there are some things I want to do with my money when it comes to electronics and programming, and maybe get back into this stuff. So yeah, those are some things that I've thought about buying. Just not when Zamboni. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you guys tuned in. And so, spoilers, we will be talking, not this episode, but next episode, we'll be talking a little bit more about IM because, yes, some spoilers. Okay, but this is not for that. This is for HEX. HEX is awesome. HEX is the time value of money. IM is maybe the future work of others. We'll talk about it later. Right now, it is just a meme token, and you know how I hate meme tokens. So the irony is not lost on me. and but Hex, oh, I've been accumulating Hex, and I'm happy about that. I'm 50% happy on the recent buying, and waiting to balance out a little bit still. But hey, when I get like up to here, it's gonna get a lot nicer. My crypto portfolio is almost off flames from the other stuff I have in those free claims I talked about. So my strategy has been as simple as buying Hex on all the dips, holding it and staking it, and then going on to Pulse Police and some other places and checking to see if these things are safe. And if there's question about these things are safe, or people ask me, I'll refer what I find out, or have a look at the contract myself and see how easy it is to read. And I've been doing some safe free claims because they're not going to pull from my wallet. Doesn't mean they're not pump and dumps, but all I have to do is spend a little gas for something that has liquidity and is worth more than the gas I paid for it. And then I've been sitting on those and just watching popcorn and not dumping them for each other. I bought Hedron on its first dip. Like I buy and I'm holding these things. I don't swap them for each other on a play going, look, this one's pumping today. I better sell everything for that one. No, it's not how I play this game. I play this game like Warren Buffett with a side of day trader. I am buying assets I love and plan to hold for a long time. And the price is only meaningful because I'm so damn poor. So I'm looking for the best opportunities, aka these dips, every single place they are, to buy. And that way I'm feeling better about this whole drop down. And when it goes up, I'm just going to be laughing because I'm sure it's going up. Could be wrong, but PulseChain's coming and it has a whole community and all that's jazz. I'm glad I put my money in it. So thank you, Richard Hart. Thank you, Hex. Thank you, community, for showing me the love and giving me 100 episodes of viewership to come at you with different random thoughts about the market, how it's affecting my Hex bags, and what's coming to Hex. And then, there'll be a spoiler after the IM episode because I'm going to be coming at you with something that's not even an EVM chain. What's EVM? Ethereum virtual machine. So not Binance, not PulseChain, not Ethereum, proof of work or proof of stake. Like nothing that's compatible with Solidity. It's a completely different programming language. It's not about price go up. Chia. So yeah, you don't go to buy this thing. It's a hobby for us geeks. If you like Linux, if you want to build a Linux box, figure out Tails, and do some decentralized VPNing, and then none of that is actually required. You can do this all in Windows if you want, but it's about it's nerdy stuff. Let's go start a farming mining rig with spare computer parts that runs on that you can run on a Raspberry Pi, like a 40-watt light bulb would power the setup you need to do this mining as a hobby. And you can do it if you want to as a hobby. I will show people how because I'm going to do it as a hobby. It's not about the price go up. I am not buying any of this coin, but I will farm for it because I think the programming concept is cool and I think the community is awesome. And I think that community could blend very well with the X community, as does some other people that I've met with some like-minded individuals I've met with some similar goal sets. And Cookie Monster, you're hilarious. I can't believe that my friends, and again, my name's Top Gun. But yeah, I'm friends with a guy that calls himself Cookie Monster on Twitter. Life goals. It's important to have life goals. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, folks. And until next time, stay frosty.